Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Mephisto, and always with me, my co-host, All My Feelings. Good evening to you, sir.
Evening, buddy.
What is the Reel McCoy? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we send you off to watch a movie. You watch it and then come back to us. We break it down, geek on it, nerd on it, and just talk all about the movie itself and everything movie around the thing. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more stuff. Not only this podcast, but more stuff. Mostly this podcast. If you want to, wait a minute, where is my graphics? There we are. If you want to interact with the show, please follow me on Twitter at Mephisto or on Instagram at Mephisto79. You could email the show, the Reel McCoy podcast at gmail.com. And if you don't want to watch us on YouTube, you can always watch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/The Reel McCoy podcast. Oh boy, do we have a banger of a movie for you for my birthday month, because I get all the birthday wishes. Wonderful movie by John Singleton called Boyz in the Hood. Now, I want to preface this. If you are following the podcast and saw the reminder for this particular podcast, you have noticed, or you might notice the thumbnail. We were supposed to have a guest, but sadly, the man is in Miami right now, and there is a massive tropical storm called Alex, and his power went out.
Yep.
So we will have to reschedule him. Legal Mindset, Andrew from Legal Mindset. Hopefully we can get him back, because from what I've seen and talked to him, he's a pretty decent kind of guy, even though he is from Florida. That's a joke.
We're going to try not to hold that against him. That's
we'll not try to hold it against him. But the show must go home, because whatever. The show
must go on. That's the idiot. There you
how
go,
many
buddy.
times you watched Boyz in the Hood this week?
Yeah, in between the long bouts of sleep that I mentioned to you before stage, I did watch it 3 times this week, actually.
That's more than I expected, to be honest.
Yes,
I watched it once and a half, of course, once like full on, and then trying to edit the shorts and stuff. I kind of got I got to the major bits, so basically watched it once and a half. It was a very enlightening watch because like we said many times, watching it critically, it's different than just putting it on and watching it, right?
And from the beginning, the one thing I have to say is I love the fact that you can watch Singleton grow as a director. Wow. Use your words.
We're both of us. We are Donnie. We are out of our elements this week.
Yes, we are completely out of our elements. But no, Singleton grew as a director just by creating this film, and he has even quoted as saying, "You can actually tell by the way I use more close-up shots and different kind of fading throughout the entire film." And he said at one point in time, I wish I could go back and remake the film now. And I even thought that when we were in editing, I wish I could go back and reshoot the entire film because I'm such a better director now than I was when I started making the film.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that kind of leads us to our first segment of the night, which is Behind the Screens.
Production take 2.
Behind the Screens is where we turn to All My Feelings, and he'll give us the entire lowdown of what's behind the scenes of this movie. Production, everything.
As Saf said in chat, he's very right. There's a lot in the backgrounds of this film. First and foremost, it's very easy to tell that Singleton was heavily influenced by Rob Reiner's take on the Stephen King story, Stand By Me. There are two pivotal scenes that are not direct ripoffs, but homages to Stand By Me. One, when the boys go to see the dead body.
I got that one. You'll see it. You'll see it.
The very ending of the film when Doughboy walks away and fades out.
Yes, and you get the little caption. The little caption says,
"It's like the little epilogue."
Epilogue that says, "Oh, he got fucking murdered 2 weeks."
Yeah, he was murdered 2 weeks later. It's like, okay.
Sort of
Singleton
live by the sword, die by the sword.
By the sword, yes. Singleton insisted on directing and sold the script to Columbia Pictures. And the reason why Columbia Pictures bought the film at the time is because they were so interested in making films like Do the Right Thing that it just came out a couple of months prior to them buying the script, and that movie did so well.
Yeah, it's like a Spike Lee classic.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably his best film.
I'll have to go back
I
and
really
watch a lot of them.
That's a really good movie too. But
there's I don't remember if it's him who directed it. There's the movie with the 13-year-old kid that he's like a drug courier, and what happens to him in his. I don't remember the name of the movie. His dad is Denzel Washington. Never mind. Go on. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a Spike Lee film. So,
the role of Doughboy was actually specifically written for Ice Cube because Singleton had actually met Ice Cube while he was working as a PA and semi-security for the Arsenio Hall show.
Okay.
He really liked Ice Cube's mannerisms and how he carried himself, so he wrote the role of Doughboy for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, I was blown away because if you take the actors in this movie, number 1, Laurence Fishburne by far.
Phenomenal in this role.
Number 2 is not Cuba Gooding Jr. Number 2 is fucking Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. Yeah.
He is much, much better actor than Cuba Gooding Jr. in this particular movie.
And oddly enough,
I forgot all about it.
And after it was oddly enough, it was Singleton who convinced Ice Cube to write his first film.
Friday, which we will be covering.
Yes,
soon,
very soon, very very soon. Speaking of different actors, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Morris Chestnut were actually cast because they were the first to actually audition for the roles.
Okay. Weird.
As Saf mentioned, Columbia underpaid their actors a lot. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Morris Chestnut were not really known at all for anything whatsoever. They can get away with paying them peanuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other big note is how Laurence Fishburne got the role to play Furious Styles. I'm always going to call him Furious. He's not Jason Styles.
You might as well just call him Furious.
He's Furious. But what's really interesting is that Singleton met him while working on the set of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I forgot he was there.
Yeah.
I forgot he was there. By the way, did you notice he doesn't in the credits, his name is not Lawrence, it's Larry.
Yeah.
Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne, yeah.
Which is odd. I've never ever remember anyone calling Laurence Fishburne Larry.
There's a very, very funny side note on this one too. Is that Laurence Fishburne and Cuba Gooding Jr. when Trey is actually aged up, they're only technically 7 years apart in real life.
You cannot tell.
The same is true for Ice Cube and Mrs. Baker.
Oh shit. Well, okay. Yeah. By the way, I love the fact that they put a little Vietnam backstory to Fury because he was like 17 when he played the character in Apocalypse Now.
Yep.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like a homage, but not really homage. But yeah, it fit the character, as in like Furious's motives, where he comes from, how he thinks, how he like knows about the world. Anything else?
Oh, I've got a lot more notes.
Oh, then go. We were supposed, because of our guest.
We were trying to figure things out.
We were trying to move things around because he didn't have the full 2 hour or an hour and a half. So we did a little bit of rearranging. So keep going.
I was going to say, John Singleton actually has a small cameo as a mailman.
Oh, I thought it was him.
Yes. Yeah. It's a very blink and you'll miss it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's really, he drops the SATs to Ricky's mom.
Yep. One of the more interesting notes is that Singleton would not warn any of the actors when they would use simulated gunfire on set to make sure that the shock and the fear was real.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
Yeah. Singleton's Oscar nomination for Best Actor actually made him the youngest director at the time to ever get an Oscar nomination. He beat Orson Welles by 2 years.
Singleton?
Yeah.
Wherein did he get an Oscar nomination?
For Best Director.
You said actor.
Sorry, director.
Okay.
My notes are messed up.
He didn't win, though.
No, he did not. He did not, but he was 24 at the time.
Oh, no. Well, when he died, he was like 51, and it was in the accursed 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, very much so.
By the way, 2022 is on its heels of 2016.
It's shaping up. It's shaping up to be a bad year. Then the other notes are all kind of mixed in throughout.
All right. Then
I didn't want to talk about box office stuff because I think a film like this you shouldn't really discuss. I mean, it did well. That's beside the point. we shouldn't be talking in a film like this. The message behind it is much more important than box office gross.
Okay. Doesn't really matter. I think it made double its budget or something. It doesn't
Around
really
that.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
I don't really check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. Saf said it right. It is a cult classic after the box office crap. Because it's a cult classic. Let's
There was a one other side note too, is this is the another film that inspired unfortunately bouts of gang violence in movie theaters. Which this one's a little more, it's more reasonable why it would happen given the context of the film. The other one we watched was, oh God, what was that Eddie Murphy movie that I hated?
Harlem Nights.
Yes.
Sounds about right. All right, we are
I've
transported.
seen that one, Saf. It is not good. Marlon Wayans, no. Go away.
Anyway, we are transported magically to 1984.
Yeah.
And we've got Trey here teaching the class about Africa. And this is after him and his buddy, which I don't think they say the name. And if they did, I kind of missed it. He's the one that takes Trey and the other two girls to watch a dead body, but not really. Right?
No, that's just the scene where they saw the
scene,
aftermath.
The scene where there was a dead body.
No, there's the dead body scene is after this. It's
no.
The boys,
I mean, the dude that he fights here, he's sitting down. He takes the two girls and Trey to go watch a scene where they shot someone, and they see the bullet holes in the Reagan poster, the 4 more years Reagan poster.
Yes.
They don't actually see a dead body.
No, the Stand By Me reference to the dead body
see blood, but you can't. The camera doesn't pan up to it.
The dead body scene is later, though. That's a different scene entirely. But what's important too is I think Singleton did a great job of having very impactful quotes in both the prologue and the epilogue. And with the one that really sticks out in your mind immediately as the beginning credits roll is the comment of like most African Americans will experience some kind of violence in their life, and he says also most will die at the hands of another black man.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's so soul crushing, but it's true.
It's so crushing, it's true, and it's sadly today it's against the narrative. He would be. It's stupid, but that word or that sentence would have gotten him canceled nowadays. Hey, I'm not.
I don't know if that's true or not. But we'll move on.
We'll move on. All right. I want to put this on because the first scene was like, I could have done away with it, but it sets up. It kind of sets up his relationship with his dad, because his entire information, like, oh, everybody came from Africa, is something that you heard from his dad, not from his mom. So the mom is literally you kind of get where the mom and the dad are divorced, and Trey's living with mom, and mom wants to continue her higher education, and she said, I'm gonna just like put you away at dad's, and he's gonna take care of you from now on.
Well, as she showed him the note that he had signed.
Yeah, he had signed
that if I had gotten in any further trouble, I'm going to go live with my father. And there is that unique dichotomy between the two parents, where the mother is more the typical mollycoddling kind of mother, and the father is a no-joke badass.
And they go off to, they don't say Compton. I'm not even sure it is Compton, but it's somewhere in South Central. So I don't know where Compton is. I'm guessing it's somewhere in that vicinity.
Yes, it is. It's Crenshaw.
Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm joking. I know exactly where it is. I haven't been there. I haven't been in the States, but I know exactly where it is because
Yes.
I'm an idiot. You know that little book that nobody has right now? It's called an atlas that has maps in it.
And
I was the map geek. So I had maps and maps and maps of stuff. Dude, it helped me a lot when I played D&D.
yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. Well, then
Anyway.
he has his the first interaction between Trey, Ricky, Doughboy, and Chris.
Yeah. We get like I said, we get a little bit of sort of a backstory of Furious, but not really. Furious and the mom, not really Furious, because you get a little bit of the relationship between the mom and the dad, which is nice. They don't seem like they don't seem like they hate each other, but you can tell there's a massive difference between how he would like to do stuff and how she would like to do stuff.
Definitely.
And we get this scene as well. And I love it that they call him a nerd because he collects comic books. We don't get to see any of the comic books at all. Question, is John Singleton a comic book guy?
That I don't know.
Okay. But he maybe wrote it as all nerds collect comic books. And remember, this is 1991 and they're talking about 1984. This is supposed to be 1984 when they're just kids. That's 10-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
And then
it would be I think a
17 when we're in seniors.
Yes. It would be a completely different story if this was to be modernized, which I don't think they could even tell the story in a modern era.
Yeah, but to be honest, it's still like that today, mostly. Is it not?
A little bit, but it's more, it's more accepted. The fact that, you like
no,
all
I
the
don't mean the
movies.
comic books. I mean the situation.
Oh yeah, the situation. Yeah, the situation. I was referring to more the mocking him for that one little aspect.
Oh yeah, for sure. First, nobody reads comic books anymore, so
that's true.
Yeah. So the one thing that is important is literally Trey comes in from the mom who basically lives maybe uptown or something. She doesn't live in a house. She looks like she lives in an apartment. So there's no grass, there's no yard work. Literally, he comes in, and the first thing the dad wants him to do, well, after he can't coerce one of the neighbors to pay him for cleaning the yard, he's like, "Oh, it's okay. Trey will do it." And Trey's being stuck cleaning the yard, and he is obviously ticked off because A, he's 10-year-old, and B, he's 10-year-old. And then we come to a realization.
You're right, Seth. $5.
We come to a realization where we actually live. I'm going to jump forward to the cops. There was an intruder. Furious comes in, shoots a couple in the air, couldn't get him. The cops, after an hour, show up. By the way, good on for them. Just an hour? That's fast. Trust me. That's super fast.
That's especially fast for, South Central LA in the 80s. That's actually pretty quick.
So they come in, and
which is awful, don't get me wrong. But still.
Yeah, dude, I'm joking. It's super awful, by the way. But it's a shooting, dude. He shot the fucking gun. Whatever. The one thing that is important here is it seems like the white cop is just a regular cop, but the black cop is supremely racist.
And Saf nailed it on the head.
What?
The relationship that the African American cop and the white cop have in there are almost not verbatim, but they're an homage, and some of them are kind of taken from Ice Cube lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I
And if you notice too, the African American cop is the same cop that pulls Trey
that
over
pulls
later
Trey
at the
later,
end.
7 years later. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Of course I noticed it. And it literally, well, we'll get to that when we get to that, but he literally looks at him like he's never seen him before. Cause they're all the same to me. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. Right. Let's go to the dead body scene. And oh,
Yep.
I got it. Here's the homage to Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
Four friends on a train track is like, oh, do you want to see a dead body? That is straight out of Stand By Me. A little bit massaged into it because the boys were going to see a dead body before they went on the train tracks
Mm-hmm.
in Stand By Me, but it's very, very reminiscent. Now, I didn't know that I forgot about this scene. I remember about the football, then they took the football, and I remember they were going to see a dead body, but I forgot it starts at the train tracks, and I was like, oh, that is some great homage directing.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful. Anything to say with the notes apart from what you said?
No, that's just I think that he did a fantastic job of providing again a great homage to another fantastic film. So
Yeah. And they do get to see a dead body, just like
Mhm.
Stand By Me. And of course, there are the bigger kids around, kind of like the same, but not really the same. And you get to see Doughboy and his demeanor from the start. So he was from the start like this.
Yeah.
Real I don't want to say macho, but bravado and, oh, you disrespecting me, I'll disrespect you. It's
Well, then also
starts
he's
from
also
very
standing up
early.
for his brother as well because they had
Yeah.
stolen his brother's football, and he knows that that's the thing that if anything that's the thing that Ricky loves more than anything in his whole life because again he mentions the fact that Ricky's father was the one that gave him that ball,
Yeah.
and his father's no longer in the picture at all.
Yeah. Did they say he died or just left?
They never mentioned what
They never
happened to
mentioned
the
him.
fathers, not that I can recall.
Yeah.
Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they ever do.
Yeah. Um, but they do get the ball back.
Yeah, because one of
Just
the guys is just like he knows how much it means to. Like, you could see him like this is crushing this kid. Give me the goddamn ball.
yeah, get the goddamn ball, and he throws him, and Ricky doesn't catch it, and Doughboy gives him shit,
Yeah,
which is like, okay. And then we get a scene where it kind of solidifies the father-son relationship with Furious and Trey,
yeah.
where Trey's 10 years old and he talks to him about his friends and da da da. And then he's like, oh, how much do you know about sex? And I was like, dude, he's 10 years old. But his dad knows what's what.
Well, he knows around there. You grow up fast. You got to grow up fast. So,
Yeah, it's a place where you grow up fast,
and
sadly.
he does read the line like, uh, any guy can get a girl pregnant. Only a real man can raise his children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a motif that comes in a little bit later where Furious kind of discusses the family values and
Mm-hmm.
the place of the dad and all that stuff when he goes into his like preaching spiel, I would say. Um
Well, and also with Ricky later, because Ricky has a kid with that girl, and he seems
yeah.
like he's going to stay with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Um
line, DK. Yeah, any fool can make a baby, but it takes a man to raise a child. That's what it is. You got it.
Thank you.
Um,
And of
that
course when they get back, they see Doughboy and his friend. I keep forgetting the name.
That's Chris. Little Chris.
Chris.
Yeah.
They move off and because they've stolen something or whatever, they got caught. And I think they even mentioned that they're going to go and steal stuff. And Trey says, I'm not going to come with you. I'm going to go with my dad to go some fishing. Right.
Yeah.
When they get back, they see that. And of course, Furious is like, Trey, that's their problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's their problem. It's not our problem. He's being very consistent throughout the movie where if it's someone else doing shit, you just stay away, keep out of it. It's not your fucking problem. And we'll get to that when we talk about Ricky getting fucking blasted. Of course, I love this scene. The comeback. Doughboy comes back home. By the way, it's after a streak of juvies. It's not he goes away for 7 years, Saf. He goes away, comes back, goes in, comes back, goes in. This is one of the times he goes out of juvie, by the way. And I like this scene because it starts with Domino, motherfuckers. And they took that scene and they put it in a Dre video. They didn't took this scene, but they took it verbatim and not a Dre video, a Snoop Dogg video. Similar scene, similar setting. Just you got the Dre, the Snoop track running in the back, but it's a cookout, right?
And Safi, his name is actually on his shirt. His name literally is Dookie.
Dookie, yeah.
The guy with the pacifier.
Chris is the guy in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I totally forgot. I remembered the guy in the wheelchair to be Chris Tucker, which
really
is not. It was in my mind. It's like, oh yeah, that's where I saw Chris Tucker first. But no, I got Friday and this kind of mixed up.
Conflated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the relationship between Chris and Doughboy is very much like the relationship between Chris Tucker and Ice Cube in Friday. Very much like that.
I would say so, but I would say Ice Cube's character in Friday has a lot more Trey than Doughboy.
Yeah. He's not. No, the character in Friday is very much not Doughboy, very much more like Trey. But the dynamic between Doughboy and Chris is very similar to Chris Tucker and Ice Cube in Friday.
Oh, gotcha.
For me, I might have again misconstrued it in my head.
That's fine.
Please let me be on the Friday podcast. We've got a guest.
Yes, for that one.
We'll see. We'll have to discuss it behind the screens. Scenes.
I was gonna say. Also, what's really pertinent about the conversation in that scene right there is because of how prevalent AIDS was at the time when the film was being made.
Oh yeah, they had that big discussion, and they had no idea how things work.
Yeah,
this is 1990. This is just after Magic Johnson announced it, or just before he announced.
I think it's right after
91,
he just announced it. Yeah,
90, 91, sort of that era. Remember?
Yeah.
So nobody
but
still
also
actually knows.
Singleton writing them as being ignorant to it makes absolute sense because they're 17-year-old kids.
Yeah. It makes
perfect sense.
It makes total sense. It's not like 2000s 17-year-olds that they know everything, like me. All right, so we get introduced to Trey. Trey comes in, packing heat with the dude. If you want to know about early 90s clothing lines, Trey is the epitome of that. Like, that shirt is the epitome of early 90s African-American style wear. Dude, he came in and was like, oh, yeah, I remember that era. I remember totally that era.
And what's really funny too is this is, I believe it's either her first or second film, Rashida Jones.
Who's Rashida Jones?
She's one of the she's in Ice Cube and Doughboy's car later.
That's Regina King.
Regina King. Sorry.
Rashida. That's why it's like
Wrote her
Regina.
name out wrong. I'm sorry.
It's
Got that
Regina
wrong.
King. Yeah.
Regina King, yeah. But that was one of her first roles. And then also Nia Long, I don't think she did anything after she played Brandy.
No, she did a few roles. They were very minor.
But no,
And
Tyra Farrell was in several sitcoms later. She was in Martin for a while.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's
Regina
Regina King.
Why did I write her name wrong? I'm so sorry, everybody. that's on me.
That's okay. That's okay.
So,
she the head bob. It's like, child, that thing that always drives me. How can they do that? It's a thing. I'm jealous. When they're like, oh, he's got a girlfriend. Ooh, child. Yeah, remember that? I like that.
Brandy, yes. Then they have that the bit at the barbecue where Trey backs all the boys off and going, hey, come on. Let the ladies go first.
Yeah. Where is it? Never mind.
Doughboy's even interaction with her going, what are you talking about, hoe? Like, I ain't a hoe. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry, bitch.
I'm surprised they didn't put in like she didn't smack him or anything. I was like, I was so expecting somebody to be fucking smacked.
It was his mom though that set him straight immediately. Hey, watch your language.
Yeah. Let's you know what? Let's do a little bit of a break here, right?
Okay.
Let's do a little bit of a break here because there's not much information you get. It's more like after the cookout where he goes back to the dad's place, right?
There was just that one little small scene where he saves the baby that's
he saved the baby.
That's like crawling in the middle of the road and taking it back to obviously his
a crack
the baby, the crackhead mother, because later she shows up later asking for it. That's the reason why we're calling her a crackhead, because she obviously is.
Because she is a crackhead.
And he has that first.
He gives her the baby, and she literally has a crack pipe in her hand.
Yeah.
So
and then she asks him if she can get any money or if she can,
suck his dick.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, thank you.
And there is that one tiny little interaction between showing how the Bloods are menacing around this neighborhood.
Yeah,
because it shows them in the car.
By the way, they didn't mention Crips or Bloods, but I don't know if you've noticed it. Doughboy and their gang are wearing mostly blue.
Blue, yeah.
And the menacing guys in the red thing, they don't say Bloods, but they're usually wearing red. So like Chicago Bulls stuff and all that stuff. All right.
That was the only time they ever mentioned any Crips or Bloods is when Trey gets pulled over by the cop at the end, because he asks Trey, like, what are you, part of the 6th Street Kings or something like that? But that's part of the Crips. So
okay. I thought as much, but I'm not.
I think that's the only time it's ever overtly mentioned, but just given the color schemes, it's like, it's kind of clear what they're going for.
It's really kind of clear, but okay. Let's move on to our first segment of the night, which is Missing Marquee. Missing Marquee for the uninitiated is where we take 10 posters, we take their text off, and we present them to you and all my feelings and the chat. Today, we're going to rely heavily on the chat because we've got time. We're going to rely on you, chat, and we'll see which this is. I know you know which. Trust me, it's very easy. All right, guys, we've got Twitch guys watching. We've got YouTube guys watching. Go right ahead. We've got 20 seconds on the clock. Go, my little darlings. Watching movies? Did you watch Top Gun?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Need to go and watch Top Gun. Sadly,
it's really good.
Hates Tom.
She's Tom Cruise, man.
With a passion.
Yeah.
No answers, boys and girls? Oh, my feelings?
It's not little, it's big.
DK said it.
DK got it.
DK got it.
Yep, it's big.
It is big. What? What? Go away. Come on.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
This is a knife. Crocodile Dundee 2? No. It is Crocodile Dundee the first. Good answer. Hint, we've covered this.
Yes.
Yeah. It is a Romero film.
Bro.
Saf says pass. DK? Anyone else? There's a lurker afoot as well. No? DK has got it. Dawn
of
the Dead. Beautiful. Next.
Hint, it's something that everyone has had at some point in their life.
No, this is not House of Cards. Although he kind of plays the same role.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of. Saf said he watched this movie 2 days ago and he can't remember the name. Come on, peeps. Come on. Think about it. DK, stop Googling it. All right. Oh, my feelings.
Horrible
this is.
Bosses.
Sorry?
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses. We mentioned this a few weeks ago.
You fucker.
I literally put them all in a big bowl and just, tossed 80 more podcasts to go forward. Come on. This is Charlie Sheen. This is the second. It is Hot Shots Part 2. Very easy this week.
Now, Saf, come on. Come on, buddy.
Saf needs to know this. Incorrect.
Correct.
This is not MIB 3. Close. No, this is not MIB 2. You've got one more try. It's, of course, Men in Black. It is Men in Black, not the second one.
That's the original.
That's the original. All right. Come on. We've got 2 more to go.
God. Now, I forgot this one.
It has a monkey in it.
Oh, I think I remember it.
Saf says pass. DK still Googling it, even though he says no Google here. Shit. I flashed the name. It is Outbreak. We got one more after this. Sorry. You know this, right? It's Christopher Reeve.
And that, yes, that's Richard Pryor. That is Richard Pryor.
I'm not going to say it's the stupidest of the 4.
Yes, it is.
Very stupid.
By far, it is the dumbest of the 4.
It is not Superman 5, but it is Superman 3. Another one. Oh, Jesus. There's only 10.
Okay, I think I do have this one.
Yeah, right. Oma Feelings kind of knows what it is. Saf's supposed to know this one. No, it's not Rust. Rust is a movie that might not be actually put out because Alec Baldwin shot a bastard.
Yeah.
Not Rust, no. Although, if you think about it, you could put it in the game Rust. It is the Book
That's it.
of Eli. Correct, DK. And last one. Easy, easy, easy.
Want him to look at every outhouse, back house.
I love that scene, by
I
the way.
didn't do it. I don't care.
Yeah. Also, by the way, the guy who did it is Jakar from Babylon 5.
Yep.
DK
it,
is
The
the
Fugitive.
king this week with The Fugitive. Bullseye.
Lucky I have to give you guys new. Don't
Hmm?
say it. Give him a chance.
Give him a chance. Did DK complain?
No.
Then why give him a chance?
Because you told me to. Dipshit.
Oh, give them
You
a
said give him
chance?
20 seconds. Yeah.
Of course, you have to give the chat 20 seconds. We've got a fucking delay, dude. I'm trying to have
Hey,
the least
they're
amount
on-
of delay.
Hey,
That's
on
why
Twitch. That's
yeah,
live.
that's
So-
why we're simultaneously cast on Twitch. So we can go on Twitch and get the least amount of delay so you can answer these quick. Yep. Yeah, it's like 30. Seth says it's 30 seconds on YouTube. Damn. It's not my fault. All right. So Trey comes back home. We've got a little interaction. He asks him something very interesting. Did you bring me swine? Now, what was that all about? You know,
I
you don't know?
The only thing I can think of is maybe if he's part of New Islam, which means
Yeah,
he
but
can't.
they don't get into it. There's no insignia in the house. There is a Jesus thing here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've.
Yeah, it's like, okay. I get it.
Maybe he's like Jules from Pulp Fiction. He don't dig on swine.
Yeah, maybe. So this, back to the sex stuff. By the way, all made up, but still good. This is before he talks to his girlfriend or after? I don't remember.
This is before he sees Brandy again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he gets like dad does his haircut and they talk, and then he wants to go out to talk to Brandy, and he's like, "Oh, did you get some pussy yet?"
And no, what's really funny too is the disbelief that Furious has in Trey's story. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna let him slide on, like, I know you're just telling me a story, boy, but it's okay. It's okay. I get it. You're trying to preserve, your sense of ego. I get it. It's not a big deal.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's fine. I didn't use any rubber, blah blah blah, and it's okay."
She said she was on the pill. It's fine.
And it's like, a pill doesn't keep your dick from falling off, which is true. Don't test it out. Trust us. We know.
I would
Thank
say
God I don't know.
I would say
Thank
necrotizing
God I
syphilis
don't know.
is such as a prevalent thing anymore, but I know what he's going for.
There's no dick falling off disease anymore.
Not that I'm aware of.
But yeah, he's again pushing this narrative where it's not only about like teen pregnancy, it's just literally getting sick and die.
Well,
because
again,
of
it goes
AIDS.
back to the Boyz, talking about AIDS, and at this point in time, it was so prevalent when the film was being made.
Yeah.
To warn everyone about the dangers of AIDS.
Yeah. And of course, we do get a little bit of interaction between Trey and Brandy, where Trey kind of, his whole demeanor is, it seems like out of place to me, right? It seems like he's doing the whole macho thing to get her to go to bed, but it's not in his nature.
Sure.
I don't know.
Saf, you're right. I'll see you at the crossroads.
Yep. Correct. But that's later. I think that's 92 or 3.
That was 93 when he died, and Bone Thugs wrote and released that in late 93, early 94.
Yeah, for if we don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about Eazy-E from NWA. Anything here? So
no, you're right. Because what's so funny is the way the macho bravado that he's trying to play off when talking to Brandy. Once he lets that facade down, he gets closer to her, and then when he actually does break down in front of her after that conversation that he has with the cop,
yeah,
that's when it's like
that's when
they really progress in their relationship, you know.
Correct.
But him putting on all this tough bravado act, for her it's like, I see this from guys on the street all the time. This is nothing special. I don't care about this, and this is not who you are, Trey.
She can tell, like, you can see in her eyes that he's not. It's like, stop it, drop the act, right?
What's funny too is there's a juxtaposition between their conversation, and then you have Doughboy and Chris and Dookie, and I forgot the other guy's name now. I don't think I wrote it down. No, I didn't.
The guy who actually shot the AK-47.
Yes,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But them hanging around the house.
Yeah.
On the yard.
It's the same. It's on the same level, but different things. But yeah, they act the same around women. They do the same thing, and I like the fact that he gets punished for it, because he's like, "Oh, baby, when you gonna give me some skin?" It's like, Trey, this is your mother.
Yeah.
So he does get, not punished, but put in his place, I would say.
Caught up a little bit.
It's a little bit, a little bit of levity in this terrible situation where they're at, right? Let's see. Where is it? Oh, the guy, we just talked about this guy where we don't remember his name, where you see him like with the gun, and then he's literally playing Duck Hunter.
Yeah.
Which I had, by the way. I didn't have that particular gun. I had a very spaced out looking gun that actually worked. I love that game so much.
Yes.
So they're sitting around the house, and there are some bad people afoot. It's not the people in the. Wait a minute, I'm trying to get to it. They just go out. There we go. You can barely see it.
Because she has to tell everybody to get out, because there is going to be.
Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Wait a minute. Hello.
Hi.
A little one's afoot.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hey,
There we go. My doughboy. Little Miss Meth and Big Miss Meth. Hello.
I do not appreciate being called big.
Yes.
And I'm Mrs. Meth.
Okay.
Didn't buy this thing for nothing. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Mrs. Meth.
Right. We shall not be disturbed anymore. Maybe later. She's like, disturbed. She closed it again. Right. So what? Interruptions aside, you see, this bit is like important just to set things up, where you see the car driving down the street, right? And Doughboy's like on high alert.
Yeah.
All the gangs like outside the house because his mother threw them out, right? And they are on high. Nothing happens. It's just, Everybody's casing each other and trying to figure out what's what, and they just leave. They just drive off, right?
No, that was the scout from USC.
Oh, is that the scout?
That's a scout. Yeah, the scout pulling up because he's looking for the house,
that's
and he
right.
asks like, "Does
I'm
Ricky Baker
dumb.
live here?" And Dobo says, "Yeah, that's my brother." And that was the USC scout coming in. But the
Oh,
way that it looked, it was like they
it
thought that it was somebody trying to case
either
either one of the
either do
houses
a
or do a
drive-by and all
drive-by
that.
or something, because that's what they're used to. Not somebody walking in a US like a scout from a major university coming in
Yeah,
in the middle of the night,
and
which
he
by the way,
generally
this
speak.
entire scene too
Hmm?
is set up with police helicopters overhead
Oh yeah,
throughout the
yeah.
entire scene.
And the entire. By the way, it from this point on, you can hear the helicopters every once in a while during a scene. So as a sort of a, I don't know, background, I would say background music, not really music, but like a background soundtrack to the place that they're living in, just to
Yeah.
make sure you know exactly where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a little interaction between Ricky and the scout. The scout's like,
And
we
this guy
can,
seems like a genuinely good man.
yeah, he's like, we want you. We can have you on a scholarship. You
Ship.
like, you
But
play right. You
he
just
gives
have
it.
to.
He plays out. Well, he lays it out to him flat out. It's like, what would you like to do? Because the chances of you getting into the NFL, they're still slim. Even if
Yeah,
you were to get scouted, like, what would you like to do? It's like,
and it
well,
seems
my
like,
friend is really into business, and I really like computers. Maybe I could do something like that. What would you think about that? And he says, son, I think you could do anything you set your mind to.
and that's actually right, because
Yeah.
Ricky throughout the movie, until something happens, until he seems like a level-headed dude. He's like, I've got a son. I'll take care of my son. I'm going to college. It's just to make sure I'll provide for my son.
Yeah.
He's like, I can go to college. I can get an education. I don't count on going to the NFL. It seems like he's aware of what the scout is telling him. He's not really shocked. So he's prepared. He's not really, it doesn't seem like he's really great at school, but he seems level-headed. That's what I mean. Like, he seems he doesn't seem like a jock. I don't, he seems like a regular guy
Well,
to
I would
me.
say he doesn't seem to have all of the inherent anger and menace the other characters seem to have.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. So they take the SATs. Ricky's a little bit, out of there, but Trey is sitting across from him.
Trent's looking at
He's
him,
like,
going,
he's like, do your test, dude. Come on. Let's get it going. And they go to Furious's place, who's like he's in financial services. He's a loan guy, I would say.
yeah.
But he does a lot of these things. If you let me show you. If you actually look at, like, here, it's like real estate, loans, this, that. He does everything and everything that deals with managing your money and assets
Yes.
in the hood, which,
Which, I thought that was a great play that John Singleton did for having his character be like that, because he could be just the easiest thing for him to write him as would be like a bail bondsman.
yeah,
Because you
but
could
he's not.
you could see his character, because Furious, for how intelligent he is, he's a badass at the end of the day, and you could see him being a bail bondsman.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. It's good enough. So he goes into. He literally says, "Let's go to Compton," right? He says, "Let's go to Compton," and he goes to this big sign where he explains this is a sign that, like, genuinely causes gentrification, which means the value goes down, and then new people, rich people, come in, buy it all up, and then raise raise the amount. It happens in a lot of places. Like the best place I know about like gentrification that went from like real shitty into highly desirable in the States is
Brooklyn.
Williamsburg in Brooklyn.
Yep. Oh
It's
yeah.
the best example
Oh yeah.
where
Oh,
it
yeah.
was when I grew up, Brooklyn was like a real shitty place because it went from the suburbs of Manhattan into the slums of Manhattan that nobody wants to live in. And now Williamsburg is like very, very pricey place to live.
Well, it's the
Very
same place that this happened a lot too in the rougher places of San Francisco.
Saf says in Boston, if you have an example.
I don't know. Is it somewhere around in Southie, Saf? I mean, I would need an example for that one. I'm not
It
sure about
could
that
be.
one.
I mean that Williamsburg in Brooklyn is the one that I know because I've seen like programs on it. I've seen TV shows on it. But he goes into the.
I will say too, just a quick aside here as well, is it always seems to be that there's an older African American gentleman who always seems to have an issue by saying like the reason why property values are down is because of all of the people like them around here.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the officer earlier and with this man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it internalized racism or just pessimism, I would say, rather than actual racism?
Possibly. It might be just them commenting on the state of affairs because in a way, I mean, it's a terrible idea, but he's not that wrong. I mean,
No.
living around with wanton violence but again, to Furious's point too, what he's saying is that we're keeping each other down, and that's making everything worse. It's like we need to bring each other up, not bring each other down.
Yeah, and was it there that he talked about the dad in the family, or is it a little bit later?
I think that's later.
When he talked to the mom in the restaurant, right?
That's later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he did mention the fact that the dad is missing from the family unit.
Correct.
And that is a lot of the and maybe he talked to Trey about this. Again, it came up for like a brief sentence and they just skipped by that, where he does mention the fact that the dad has a place in the family and a lot of these gang guys are missing the dad, whether he died or he just skipped out, right? Bailed out. Where is it? No. I like the fact that after they leave the dad, they're sitting in the car and it's like, oh, your dad should have been a preacher, or he must have been a preacher in a past life because he's very smart. They look up to Furious, both Trey and Ricky. And Ricky is missing a dad figure in his life. Yet he's still kind of, he's doing all right, I guess. Like I said, he's level-headed. He takes care of his family or his son and his like girlfriend and stuff. But
well, I mean, for being
in awe of Furious's speech.
Yes. Well, and also for being a 17-year-old kid, just like if you see the cycle kind of repeating itself, how Furious had Trey when he was 17 and Ricky had his kid when he was 17 in a way. So that's odd, but no, for Ricky's sake, for him being a 17-year-old kid, wanting to be there as a father and trying to take care of that girl too, that's showing a lot of maturity for a kid.
I guess. Right. So, what do we have to do on is it a Sunday evening? Right? Sunday evening or Saturday? Whatever. Let's cruising down Crenshaw.
What's really important is the car that Doughboy is driving.
Okay. Elaborate, sir.
That was Ice Cube's car.
Oh.
The Golden Impala? Yeah, that was Ice Cube's car.
I always wondered, after seeing this movie, I always wondered what makes it bounce. I was
It's
never into
hydraulics.
cars. I was never
Yeah.
into anything like that. It's later on found out it's just hydraulics, just switches, right? It's just switches.
Yep.
Yeah, lowrider, all that good stuff. Yeah. I know. So they're cruising down Crenshaw, and of course, a fight breaks out just because
And
some guy bumped to another guy.
it's the dumbest thing too. And I think Sap really brought up the point earlier. It's again the whole point of the movie. It's the one with the most promising future gets wiped out for something completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
They bump into each other. They both spout the N-word at each other, but that's just that's how they speak.
That's how they talk.
And
Yeah.
but Doughboy is the one who escalated it by showing a piece to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah, and the guys who are, let's call them the blood guys or the bloods.
Yeah.
Literally, they're the bloods. They're recoiling, and the most important thing, or not the most important thing, the one that stuck out to me was the girl from the bloods. It's like, can we have one day where
day
we're
without it.
not killing each other? Right? Yeah. Can we have just one day of peace? And the answer to that is no, because literally the guys from the bloods go to their car, like take out a Mac-10 and just shoot it in the air and scatter everybody, right? Everybody.
Yeah, so DK, what happened is basically the bigger guy from the bloods bumped in to Ricky, just bumped him in the shoulder. Yeah. And the first thing, like Ricky's response was to immediately just start to jump on him about it.
He wasn't even menacing. He was like, oh, like, dude, what the fuck, man? Yeah, what the fuck? And the guys are, oh, you got a problem? And Doughboy's immediately out with the piece, like,
oh,
got a problem?
Do we got a problem? Do we got a problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's all bravado. It's all not bravado.
Yes.
And it's all, oh, respect me, disrespect me, you, and all that stuff. Dude, it happened like that.
Yeah.
It flares up, and it literally starts the escalation of everything. Yeah. Hi, Bella. One of your faves? So is mine.
It's a great film.
And of course, Trey and Ricky bolt with Trey's car. Doughboy and his crew go out with another car.
Remember that note that I mentioned before, how none of the actors were sure when they could only see in the script that gunshots happen, but they didn't know when it was going to happen. So them hearing it, that having to just
everybody ducked at unison. Yeah. It's very hard to do unison ducking when it comes to movies, but when everybody's really surprised, ducking is like a reflex for everybody.
Now, Singleton taking that and utilizing that as a concept of inherent fear, that was masterstroke on his behalf.
It's beautiful. I was wondering about that, but after you said that, it seems, never mind. I'm rambling. I'm not in my best game today, as you can very well tell.
We're both a little off today, unfortunately.
Then we're a little off, both me and Mr. Fields. Right. This bit. Trey gets stopped. He didn't do anything, right? But still gets stopped. Pull over. He's being very, like, cooperative with the cops, like, get out, put your hand on the steering wheel, put your hands on the hood, everything, searches, doesn't talk back, doesn't do anything. Yet the cop, who is black, the same cop who came to the breaking and entering, he's like, oh, you're from the Crenshaw Mafia, you're from this, you're from that. And Trey begins to cry. He's not sobbing, but he's definitely shedding a tear. Very emotional, very heightened, and supremely scared of what's happening. It seems like Trey is used to getting like guns pulled at him, but not like this. It seems to me that he can manage the piece being flashed, but not when it's in his throat, not when it's in the cops, and there's a serious. And even said the cop even says it. He can shoot him right there, and nothing would happen to the cop.
Yeah.
Which, if you're on the other end of that
It's a
and
very
realize
scathing
that,
indictment, but up until recently, it's goddamn same way it has been.
30 years
Yeah.
have passed, and I'm guessing it happened 30 years before that. So like 60s.
Yeah.
So I would imagine living in that sort of environment tends to fuck up with your head a little bit.
Mhm.
Especially if it's an African American cop. You would think he would be for the community, but he's just like what you said with the old man. He looks at his own community with a lot of disdain.
Mhm.
Maybe not full on racist, but disdain for sure. And he goes out to his girlfriend.
Goes to
And
Brady, and this is when he has that little bit of outrage, and then he just starts breaking down.
yeah,
And it's when, again, as we mentioned earlier, it's when he is actually able to show his true self to Brandy. That's
yeah,
when she is really starts to fall for him, and
yeah.
that's when she she
Gives
gives it up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. But she's so pure and Catholic and good looking.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Nia Long's gorgeous.
Yeah. All right. So we get this dinner where you see the dichotomy of things. I forgot the actress's name. Can't believe it.
It's Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. God damn it.
Yeah.
Angela the Muscles Bassett.
Oh, just for a quick aside, DK, you're absolutely right, and you have to remember too, this was before the LA riots.
Yeah, this was before the LA riots. This is before Rodney King. This was, I would say it caught the zeitgeist of that moment in time, just before a lot of things kind of broke down. And why did he say Catholic? Because she is Catholic. In the first scene where they talk just outside the party, and he's like, let's go at it, baby. Let's do this, baby. And she's like, I'm Catholic. I can't do it. I have to marry you. It's like, well, it's okay. We'll get married. It's like, give me some skin, baby. This was, yes, definitely during the height of NWA. Definitely. Ice Cube was hot. NWA was hot. Dre was hot. Snoop was hot. Eazy-E was, everybody in that entire crew was supremely popular. Like, not only with the black kids, but with the white kids as well. Very much so. Where gangster rap was the thing in music. It's either grunge or gangster rap. Nothing else. Well, depending. If you're in Europe, and probably a little bit of trans music. No, literally. So we get this, and we're the dichotomy between Angela Bassett, the mom, and the furious dad, is like she wants him to make sure Trey grows with a certain, let's say, things to know for life.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad is like, that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. Where were you?
Yeah.
It's like, you need to be his dad and make sure he knows this and this and this. It's like, I've been doing that for 7 years since the moment you put him in, like, outside my door. And I don't know what she wants. I mean,
Well, and she mentions too, is like, oh, when he's going off to college, Brandy's going to go to. They're thinking about moving in together out in Atlanta because they're going to go to separate colleges that aren't that far apart. They're talking about moving in together. Is that okay? You think that's okay with you? Like, yeah, I do.
yeah, because I gave him the tools that he needs to handle himself when he's not with me.
Yeah.
Peer pressure? No, I don't think so. I think Furious taught Trey to go past the peer pressure, and it literally comes right after this scene where everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
Where you can see Furious's teachings to Trey manifest itself in what happens after Ricky gets killed. Let's just jump into that, right? So there's a little altercation between Ricky and Doughboy outside of the house where Doughboy kind of is annoyed with Ricky about Ricky's being an ass to him, but with good, he has a little bit of, I'm out of my
It's
element
supposed to be
today.
good nature.
Honey, I'm out of my element tonight. I'm
That's
off.
what it's.
I'm
That's what
sorry.
it's supposed to be, but it escalates very quickly.
Yeah, so Ricky's kind of kidding around, but not kidding around, where he tells Doughboy you're a shithead, basically.
Mhm.
And Doughboy's like, fuck you, bitch. And they go at it. We also get to see, like you said, John Singleton bringing the test scores for Ricky as Ricky goes
also,
off to get some
what's important
groceries
too
with
is
Trey.
that it's the baker's mother that breaks up the fight between Ricky and Doughboy by slapping Doughboy.
Yeah, by slapping Doughboy. And he's like, Mom, what you did that for?
Yeah. Why'd you hit me? What?
Yeah. And it kind of solidifies the fact that the mom is like, oh, you're the shit son and Ricky's the good son, so I love him more, or something like that. And you can tell how Doughboy is feeling in
Yeah.
Ice Cube's face.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to say much. You can tell in his face. That's why I love him in this movie as an actor rather than everybody else, because he expresses a lot of what Doughboy is feeling through the face. I fucking love it, man.
Definitely.
So Ricky and Trey go to a grocery store, and on the way back, let me set this up. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I was here. Never mind. So we get to see the guys, the Bloods. By the way, they do say a little bit later that this guy just above me, he's supposed to be 27.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a massive difference between the men and the boys, right? But they all kind of look young in the same age. That's why. That's because everybody's like 27-year-old in real life or something like that, right? You're out of your element too today. Okay, I get it.
No, I'm just listening, bud. Getting your points. You're getting your points. So what's important?
Doughboy and the gang do see
the
car
coming.
You see the car
by.
running through, and they immediately do
like, oh shit,
1 + 1, and they jump in Doughboy's car and they just like haul ass. Meanwhile, Ricky and Trey kind of get into this alleyway and they think they just kind of got to get away. And I don't know why, but Ricky says to Trey, let's split up. I didn't understand why. It's like,
that's a good point. And you have to wonder if they would have caught Ricky had they stuck together and gone down the same path that Trey did.
Yeah.
Because Trey had to double back to get back to Ricky after he got shot.
Yeah, they kind of split up, but I don't know why, and I don't know why they would go both of them one way, or like Ricky's way or Trey's way. You would think there is no explanation. I saw that part where they split up 3 or 4 times. I just didn't get why Ricky want to split up. Even Trey asks him why they want to split up, and Ricky's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. There's no actually explanation. And of course, Ricky gets. Wait. Ricky gets shot. I don't need to see the entire thing, but yeah. And of course, it's literally in front of Trey, and that is let's just say it's a low point in this movie. You're like, not Trey, but Ricky's the guy you would least think would get into trouble like that, right?
Well, and what I found interesting was the fact that why didn't they go after Doughboy? Because Doughboy was the one who showed a piece first, and Doughboy was the one who called the Blood's girl a bitch.
Yeah,
he was the one who escalated.
Ricky's the one that talked shit to him the first time.
Well, he
bumped into Ricky, and Ricky's like, "What the fuck, man?"
Fuck. Yeah.
That's why they remember him. I mean, they didn't drive by Doughboy's
Well, no, I
house.
get it for narrative's sake. It makes sense to have the basically the killing of the golden calf. It makes sense to drive the story forward. It makes absolute sense. Well, but Saf, he really didn't start it. The other guy started it, and the one who escalated it was Doughboy. That's why it would have made sense if he would have went after Doughboy instead of Ricky.
And the thing is, after they bring him to the house,
I get why they did it. But
the mom's reaction, it kind of mirrors what happened before, where she slapped Doughboy, right? It's like, you did this. You with your gangsters and your thing, and you brought this on this house, right? Mm-hmm. Even though kind of no, right? They wanted to hurt him. Anyone connect? Yeah. It's hood logic.
Fair. That's fair.
Like Bella said, it's hood logic. And I would say, yeah, it's the first guy that they bumped into that talked shit to them. That's the guy. Plus, it was kind of opportunity's sake because they saw him walking down the street.
Yeah.
Right? And the mom was like, you brought this on this house, blah, blah, blah. It's heart-wrenching, gut-punching. It's bad. Even Brandy's like, it's like it went around the neighborhood real fast.
Real quick,
the news about Rick went around the block immediately.
I would say too, this is also another great scene where Fishburne gets to just throw out his dramatic weight. The conversation between
the scene with the gun,
with Trey and Furious, where Furious essentially talks him down,
but not really.
Well, by checking him, and in a way, more of that information that it starts to really settle in, and the message settles in, because it's after this.
You're out.
When he
oh, my feelings is out. I have seemingly connection issues. Stand by to restore connection. Oh, shit. I hope you're still with us. I think Restream got bleeped. You okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Anyway, to this
same sentence you said before I started to disturb you. Go ahead.
I was going to say the message here is Furious essentially checking his son and saying, I know this is what you want to do, but you realize what you're going to throw away if you go after him. You realize it's only going to get worse if you go after him. What happened to Ricky was awful, but if you do this, there's no going back. and it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
And
And he's
that
like,
lesson
give
seems to
me the gun.
gun and go
Yeah.
clean yourself up. And then he seems to settle down, and then he does run out and get into Doughboy's car, but it's partway through it where the message kind of seems to sink in with Trey, because he asked Doughboy to pull over so he can get out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to. This is where the dad's training and the dad's education throughout
Yeah.
the years.
Mhm.
Be a man, do this, you have to do this, you have to do that, don't do this, don't do that. It's like the entire like education of how to be a man or how to act like an adult. That's where Furious comes into Trey's life and impacts him, where he's like, I want to go and do vengeance, retribution, but I know that I have to break the cycle.
Yeah.
The
Again,
cycle is keep killing
repeating itself. Yep.
and vengeance and killing and vengeance and killing
Yep.
and vengeance.
And again,
I,
that's the
I'm
same thing
gonna
to
go.
do
I'm gonna
DK's.
go out the car,
Yep.
and I'm gonna break the cycle for
Yep.
me. And Doughboy realized this immediately. He's like, everybody else wants Trey to stay in the car. Doughboy's like, yeah, this is not for you. This is for us. We're already lost. You can
Yeah.
be saved. Go.
Yep.
And he stops, takes him out, and he keeps going. Because Doughboy knows he is in that cycle. He also says it in the end of the movie. But we'll get to that. All right. Trey goes out the house. There's the scene cuts to them, and then it cuts to back to Furious, where he's sitting around doing the Zen balls.
Mm-hmm.
I had those Zen balls, by the way, not those particular ones. They're the actual ones with the yin and the yang. Doing what he did is very hard. You have to train your hands to do that. It's very, very hard. Let me see. Oh, it's hard to get exactly that.
I'd say, well, from there, it kind of goes to cuts between, Doughboy and the boys going, just driving around Crenshaw, trying to find the Bloods.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the Bloods actually sitting in the outside that little restaurant eating.
Yeah. And they were nonchalant eating their fucking dinner, right? Outside of the fucking, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese or whatever it was.
Some burger shack, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And they're having an everyday conversation. One of them just popped a dude, right? One of them just popped a dude, and it's like, it's fine. It's just like a normal day. Doughboy and the gang comes in, an AK fucking 47, by the way. That's some serious firepower.
Don't know where they got an AK, but whatever. The other guy had at the beginning the
Mac 10. That
also Mac 10, and the other guy had the other guy had just a double barrel shotgun, but it wasn't sawed off. So that's something you could buy at a hunting goods store if you really wanted to buy one in the States.
But yeah, it's serious gunfire. And Doughboy's like going out for the kill. And the guy literally turns around and is like, dude, I didn't kill him. Right? It's like, it wasn't me who pulled the trigger. You're dead, bitch. Doesn't matter. That's America for you. Let's not open the whole Second Amendment, guns, illegal guns conversation, because frankly, no. We're going to discuss it through the lens of movies, because that's what we're all about.
Yes. I will say from here is the then cut to the scene we have when Trey returns home to only have Furious just turn around, walk into his room, and shut the door. He doesn't want to even speak to him.
I don't think he even says anything to him as well. Oh no, Trey says he jumped out, he didn't go through with it or something.
Yeah.
But he's you can tell, if I'll flash it just for a second, you can tell Furious is a little bit disappointed in this.
Oh, that's all just pure disappointment.
Right? Because he expected him to, after he got the gun from Trey, for him to stay in the house and just cool off and just do the thing, right? Do your teaching, do what I taught you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away, stay off other people's business.
Yeah.
And you won't get hurt. Right. Oh, my voice is slowly but surely dying. It is time for our favorite segment, my favorite segment. It is called Screen Fighter.
Round 1, fight.
What is Screen Fighter for the uninitiated? We take two movies, we pit them together and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good, both of them are bad, we fall to our criteria, which is Friday evening, Saturday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. Two movies in front of us. Which one will we pop in? Bam. All right, boys and girls. I thought we had a guest, so I wanted to go with the Johnny Depp theme.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go with the Johnny Depp thing. Donnie Brasco, or Rise of Planet of the Apes. One of the newer Planet of the Apes ones. I think this one is the second
one. Yeah.
Right? That's the second one of the... Were there three?
Yeah, it was a trilogy.
Two?
It was a trilogy.
Three. Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me the name of the director. Is it Miller?
I think so.
I think it's Miller. The guy who did Deadpool.
Oh God! And then I always forget his name. The actor who played Smeagol.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis plays the lead ape, and I forget his name not to.
I've seen this one. I think this one and the first one of the trilogy. I didn't like them.
They're okay.
I'm not into them. I'm going to go with Donnie Brasco. It's just a great little gangster undercover story. Really, really good. I think it's a true story as well.
Yes, it is.
Or based on a true story.
It's based on a true story, and also It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Charlie does an amazing interpretation of that. If you've ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
I haven't seen any of this.
It's hilarious.
One of those series that I have to literally sit. It's what 17 million seasons. Fifth Element or Coyote Ugly. Can we even compare the two? I mean, Coyote Ugly does have John Goodman in it.
That's true.
Right. What's your pick before I do my
also pick? Corbin Dallas Multipass.
Corbin Dallas Multipass wins easily. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or Apocalypto from, as you can tell, Mela Gibsona. Not Mel Gibson. Have you
seen Apocalypto?
I have seen. It is awful.
It's a fucking slog. That movie is
awful. It
almost
is not
unbearable
a fun watch. It's not. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's
Planes,
so
Trains,
good.
Automobiles. Yeah, it's one of John Candy's best films, and it's also one of John Hughes' best films. Yes, I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is better than Breakfast Club. Fight me.
The judge is out on that one. All right, X-Men Origins Wolverine or Cop Out. Which pile of shit would you like to watch more than the other pile of shit? You go ahead first. Chat, you can do whatever. Saf says Cop Out.
I will also have to agree with Saf on this one, just because I think Sean William Scott is actually very funny in it.
Really?
as the bandit who steals things and then just takes shits in people's toilets.
Mirroring the Wet Bandits, kind of.
Yeah, in a way. X-Men Origins Wolverine has almost no saving grace to it. It nearly killed Deadpool as a character prior to Ryan Reynolds had to.
It did kill him, and Ryan Reynolds brought him from the ashes.
Yes.
Literally regenerated into. I choose a death. It's gonna be cop out, even though.
It's a
terrible.
cop out.
It's a real cop out. Fight Club or A Beautiful Mind.
That's interesting because it's dealing with mental disorders in a very
Yep.
different way.
Yep.
You know
One
me,
is schizophrenia, and another one is schizophrenia.
One's schizophrenia,
It's-
one's almost a sort of dissociative identity disorder. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would always have to go with Fight Club. You know, that's one of my favorite films, and I've written so many essays about Fight Club.
That says full on Fight Club. I'm going to go Fight Club. I love A Beautiful Mind. Seen it in the theater. Seen it multiple times in the theater. Still harkens back to the days of me working just 1 month at a theater place. I'm going to go with Fight Club.
I would say though, if there'd be on the same note of the criteria though, if I was going to sit down and watch a movie with somebody just to turn on a movie, I would not turn on A Beautiful Mind for fun.
Yeah, I would say so. Speaking of movies that you don't actually put on for having fun, Clockwork Orange or Black Hawk Down. Both are sucky in terms of emotions. It drags you into the deep, dark waters.
Yes.
I'm going to go first. For me, A Clockwork Orange, all day, every day. It is a fucking masterpiece of a movie. It is very much not like a conventional movie. If you haven't seen it, it is Stanley Kubrick. It's my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie of all time. It really reflects him and his like wacky mind and his
You think even more than 2001: A Space Odyssey?
very, very dark sense of humor, by the way. Very dark sense of humor. The chat says Black Hawk Down.
I would still have to go with A Clockwork Orange.
All right. Any reasons?
Just because, again, it's a Kubrick film, and it's my second favorite Kubrick film.
Clockwork Orange it is. Not another teen movie or Frosty the Snowman.
Hey,
original.
Not another teen movie gave us Chris Evans.
It did.
So it's not all bad.
All right. Choose your poison. Chat says we have no taste. It is the chat.
Well,
who is
I think we're just going to
incorrect.
rename this whole segment to Sap is Wrong.
Yeah. Right. Choose.
I would have to go with not another teen movie because, oh my God, Frosty the Snowman. I loved it as a child.
It is terrible.
It's awful.
It is awful. Right. Last pairing, because literally my voice is going down. Born Supremacy, which is the third one. After that, he kind of left. They brought in Jeremy Renner, and then it didn't work out, and then they gone back to Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Or Full Metal Jacket.
Should I go first?
Another Stanley Kubrick, by the way.
Movie, yes. Which I'm definitely going to go with Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket is such a phenomenal film.
Yeah. Chat says Full Metal Jacket, Full Metal Jacket, Full Metal Jacket. We are in unison here. My second favorite Stanley Kubrick movie of all time is Full Metal Jacket. It is the only movie I can stand Matthew Modine in.
Wow, really?
I have a hearty dislike to Matthew Modine's acting and or person.
I was unaware of this contempt you had for Matthew Modine.
I can't stand the man.
So in February we're gonna do Matthew Modine month.
Why? Why in February?
Because I think that's the next month we have free, pretty much.
No. Denied. All right. Cool. Let's wrap up the story because we, generally speaking, have just one scene, which is the scene that literally blew me away on how good Ice Cube is as an actor.
Yes.
It's him sitting on it's not really a porch, but on the like porch, I would say, of Trey's house. And he's like, how things are fucked up and how he can't really break the cycle and how much his mother doesn't love him and she loved Ricky because he's the sort of chosen one.
Well, then he also mentions too about how he was watching the news and how he was mentioning like, well, I hear all of the stories about what's going on out there in the world, but no one's talking about what's going on here.
Yeah.
No one's mentioning what happened to Ricky. It's the
Yeah.
general ambivalence about the actor. So sorry, the actor. That's why Ice Cube does a great job because he almost tears up a little bit talking about the ambivalence about the violence that was inherent in South Central LA at the time, and how everyone's turning their eye, a blind eye to it.
Yeah. Until they couldn't do that anymore with Rodney King like a year later, something like that. Even though a few
DK,
months.
DK nailed the line right there. Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care what's going on in the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could literally be, like you said before we started the show, it could literally be south side of Chicago. It could be places in Brooklyn or St. Louis or whatever, any hood in the United States, Atlanta, Houston, anywhere there's a big areas of like hood, anywhere there's a big community where there's poor black people living in really squalor and there's tons of gang violence, tons of violence, and it's not talked about until it reaches somewhere that it hurts the general
until there's
public.
a powder keg moment. Yeah.
And it's sad. It's really, really sad. And like remember what I said at the beginning, you can look at Doughboy's eyes or Ice Cube's eyes and you can feel how much pain. Maybe because he's bringing real life experience into the matter. Maybe, I don't know. You can feel a lot just by that small little interaction between him and Trey on how shitty everyone feels the same, like Doughboy. Doughboy is just an sort of an effigy of what everybody in the hood feels. Which
also the
sucks.
way one of the last lines that he says is, "I don't know, someone could be coming after me next."
Yeah, which harkens back to him getting murdered 2 weeks later, but it's also a little bit, like we said, a moment where it is very much like Stand By Me, where we see Will Wheaton's character and River Phoenix's character talking about how Will Wheaton is the guy who will make it outside, and River Phoenix's character is meant to continue the cycle and be at a like a shitty place where he can't get out. And at the end, you kind of know, oh, he did get out. He did make something of himself, but because of his nature to do good and intervene and stop everything, he got killed for it.
Yeah.
Which,
So that's why I love that, again, John Singleton in that shot. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you saw him become a better director throughout the film. And that panning fadeaway shot as Doughboy's walking out of frame is perfect. And then just that it has basically just the epilogue there of that note that he was murdered 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Which kind of tells you, well, the cycle, even though it seems hopeful, the cycle did not break. So
well, the only good thing was they showed immediately afterward was the shot to Trey.
Trey went out to Atlanta.
Yeah, because he went out to, I think he went to Moore's College, if I'm not mistaken, and Brandy went to the neighboring college. But they both went out to Atlanta. They escaped. Yeah. They got out.
They escaped the situation. So there is kind of a hopeful point in the movie, but overall it kind of ended kind of dark, or at let's say a somber moment.
I think that's really what the whole message of the film was, and I think Singleton did well. We'll wrap up. Well, we're getting lower ahead here now. I think Singleton did an amazing job of telling a story of, there are some very positive moments in the film. There are some bits of levity in the story, but he didn't want to shy away of the truth of how terrible it really is out there.
Yeah. Yeah, to show you how it really is for the people who live there, for the people who experience this not as a movie, but in actual real life.
Correct. Yeah.
So the helicopter sounds every evening, or even during the day, the rampant violence, the bravado for nothing's sake. Just maybe to keep yourself alive, or to not get, run over or be bullied. Because at a place like that, you either live or you die, right? Allegedly. Never mind. I'm so done. All right. Let's do the wrap up. Great film. Great watch. Enjoyed it very much. Reminiscing. I haven't seen it for a very long time. Partly why we have the podcast is so we can watch movies that we know we like and we haven't seen for a long while. Some of them we haven't seen any, like for me or for you. But it is so good to rewatch these. Basically, it's classics of pieces of life that are genuinely not our own. You could tell I'm not really Black, right?
Wow, really?
I don't have that experience, but
yeah,
the fact that we have these kind of films that you can empathize with characters, with motivations, with situations that are not necessarily your own, but you can understand and open your mind and have a little bit of more compassion to how people feel. That's why these kind of movies are important, at least to me, because in the medium of the movie, you can have different stories from different angles, from different creators, and enjoy them for what they are.
Yes,
especially when they're not you.
I agree with that, and more to the point, I believe that a lot of the films, especially taking on different perspectives, is just to really greater understand the human condition itself.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we end the show, let's do a short version of Boyz n the Hood. Let me set this up because it always fucks up. It always fucks up, dude. It will always fuck up.
52 for 52, buddy.
Right. The short version of Boyz n the Hood. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Here we go. The short version.
That means everybody's really from Africa.
What's the matter? You can't say hi?
How did all these leaves? Who do you think you is? Kunta Kinte?
You know, it's too bad you didn't get him. Be one less nigga out here in the streets we have to worry about.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
What do you know about sex?
domino, motherfuckers.
Do he got a girlfriend?
Peeling will keep your dick from falling off.
So you gotta get with the program.
So you gonna give me the scams or what?
Trey, this is your mother.
Now what we need to do is we need to keep everything in our neighborhood, everything, black. Black owned with black money.
Hey man, what's wrong with you?
Can we have one night where there ain't no fight, nobody gets shot?
Look like one of them Crenshaw Mafia motherfuckers.
Well, you're his father. That means you were supposed to guide his decisions.
Well, what the hell you think I've been doing for the last 7 years?
Mama!
You my son, you my problem. I want you to give me the gun.
Let me out. Turn your punk ass over. I ain't got no brother. She love that fool more than she love me.
You still got one brother left, man.
Still got one brother left. You still one brother left with me, yeah, man. All right. With this somber movie, we're gonna go ahead and tell you what is up next week. Next week, oh baby, someone is having a birthday. Well, technically, it's gonna be midweek, but we're not here midweek. So next week, we're gonna celebrate my goddamn birthday, my 43rd goddamn birthday, with a fantastic movie, my favorite movie of all time. Yes, it used to be Star Wars, but now it's not. My favorite movie of all time is The Shawshank Redemption. Now, we want a guest for Shawshank Redemption. We don't have a guest for Shawshank Redemption.
Not yet.
But we're working on it. Anyway, go watch The Shawshank Redemption this week. You can catch it on, I saw it on Hulu. Don't ask
and
me
I would
how
say
I
too,
saw it
if
on
you
Hulu.
if you have cable and if you're in the United States, it'll be on at some point in time the next week showing.
It's probably on
a marathon.
AMC right now. On the AMC channel right now. But literally, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Netflix every once in a while. I think it's on my Netflix right now, but it's different Netflixes.
I think it might also be on Tubi if you're in the States for free.
Could be.
So.
Wonderful film. Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. It is absolutely superb film. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Come back to us next week and we'll talk about it.
Side note, you're going to hear a lot about Stephen King next week. A lot about Stephen King.
I don't care because I fucking love that movie. Anyway, go watch the movie. Come back to us next week and we will break it down, geek on it, and totally gush on it. Well, I will. And we'll have
hop in Discord in a minute, buddy. I actually have to check my message on Discord. I haven't checked them all week, so
okay.
But I got to talk to you about something, Saf. So
okay. And this is us signing off. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
See you next week.